Hello students, myself Mrs.Neha Porji, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Technology. Today we will be discussing one of the topic from SQL, that is cursors in SQL. First, in short, let's understand what is SQL. SQL is a structural query language which is used to interact with the database. As I am mentioning that it is used to interact with the database, it means we can create or manage the database, we can insert, update or delete the data from the database, and we can fire the queries and retrieve the data from the database, and we can control access to the data. Now, coming to the point of cursors, let's understand what is cursors in SQL. Basically, cursors act as a pointer to the contact text. It is an object that allows us to retrieve, manipulate or transfer through the result sets row by row. It means the cursors work row by row at a time. Now, based on how do we fetch the data from the rows and how we interact with the data from the database, the cursors are being classified into different types. As mentioned, types of cursors are implicit cursor, explicit cursor, static cursor, dynamic cursor, forward only cursor, scroller cursor. Today, we will be discussing only the first two types, that is implicit cursor and explicit cursor. Now talking about implicit cursors are automatically created by the oracle. It means the programmer of the SQL have no control on the implicit cursor. It also means that the programmer do not have to create the implicit cursor. It will be automatically created. It will be moving row by row automatically by the oracle, and it will be stopped or closed by the oracle automatically. Okay. Now, these are some of the attributes, commonly used attributes in the implicit cursors. Let's discuss those. First one is person found. As name suggests, found means we are searching something into the database. So, whenever we fire an insert, update or delete statement to the database and the specified value is mentioned into the database or into the table, the found will return us the true value. If that value is not there into the table, it will return us the false value. Next one we have is the not found, which works exactly opposite of the found. Okay, not found means the specified value is not there into the table whenever we execute insert, update or delete statement. If the statement is not getting the value, it will return us the true value, and if it is getting that value into the table, it will return us the false value. Next one we have is open. Is open is always false for the implicit cursor. As I mentioned, the implicit cursors are not to be opened, not to be created, not to be closed by the programmer. Everything is handled by the oracle. So it is always open in the case of implicit cursor. So if we execute is open attribute for the implicit cursor, it will always give us a false value. Okay. Now going to the next one, that is row count. Row count will give us the number of rows into the table. Whenever we execute insert, update or delete statement, SQL statement, it will give us the number of rows into the table. Now moving to the next type of cursor, that is the explicit cursor. Explicit cursor, here it is controlled by the programmer. Okay, which is opposite to the implicit cursor. It is this explicit cursor is the tool that is controlled by the programmer. It moves step to step, and it is decided by when to start the cursor, where to move the cursor, and when to stop the cursor. All decision is done by the programmer through the coding. This is the simple syntax for creating an implicit cursor. The first one we have is okay. The first one we have the keyword cursor. Here the cursor name is nothing but the name given by the programmer for the cursor, and then our select statement. Okay. Now this is an example for the cursor. Here in this case, example cursor is the keyword, employee cursor is the name given to the cursor, and then the select statement means from the table employee ID first name and last name is to be retrieved by using the cursor employee cursor. Next, as I said, key programmer has to work with the explicit cursor. There are some steps that how to work with the implicit cursor. Whenever the programmer declares the cursor, the proper initialization of memory is done for that specific cursor. Then once the cursor is been declared, it will get open. When the cursor is opened by the programmer, the proper allocation of the memory is done to the cursor. Then while working with the cursor, right, fetching the data or retrieving the data, it is to be done when fetching is being fired. And last, we need to close the cursor properly. When the programmer closes the cursor in the program, the memory that is allocated to the cursor will be released to the memory. Thank you.